edits. So essentially, if you need to go in and make changes, any corrections, you can go right into the FASFA and do that yourself, okay? The logic of, do I have to fill this out? Do I have to send this in? It eliminates this getting lost, right? So everything is online. The more timely submission of application. So essentially, what would happen is that you would have to mail in this application and essentially wait for it to get processed, wait for them to receive it, process it, and then you hear back. There's help with more common questions. So as you're filling out the FASFA, if you're unsure of anything and as you're going through, there's a help section right on the right-hand side that relates to that specific question. So if it's question 2A, you can see right on the right-hand side what they're asking for. Okay, there's clarification there as well. You can check your application status online. So when you log in, when you first log in, you can see processed, submitted, in process. So you can see, exactly where it's at. And you can also call the school to see if they received it as well, any particular institution. Simplified yearly renewal application process. So to your question, once you fill out the FASFA for the first time, if no information has changed, all you're gonna do is renew it the following year. So for those of you that have, seniors in high school, graduating in June, you fill out the 2018-19, and again, I'll go over that. You fill that out. If the parent information, student information is the same, come next year when the 2019-20 FASFA becomes available, and once you log in, all you do is click renew. All right, so if all of the information is still the same, mom, dad, whomever still working, same income, nothing has changed, renew. And it's literally a matter of you just going through and submitting it. And that takes less than 5 minutes. All right, so it's more simplified as you renew the process. This, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the most critical components to filling out the FASFA, okay? It's what's called an FSA ID. They actually started this a few, I wanna say like 2, maybe 3 years ago. The FSA ID, okay? One of the myths is that only the student needs to fill out or apply for an FSA ID. Student and parent, both need to have their own. Now, a lot of times I've seen it where the student will create one for the parent, and then the student will give the parent the information when we ask for it from the parent, or I don't know, the child, my son or my daughter created it. It just creates a lot of confusion. So both students and parents have to create their FSA ID, okay? I'll go back really quick. When you click Start a New FASFA, on that left-hand side, you'll click, there's a little button or a little dot, and there's a link that says Create FSA ID, okay? Typically, the student will create one, and then you'll put in your email, username, password, you'll continue, and then the student will start putting in their information, okay? Social, date of birth, address, they'll start security questions, all of that, okay? That's for the student. The Social Security Administration has to verify who you are, social, date of birth, they have to verify that information. And so the parent has to do the same thing, okay? So each of you will have your own FSA ID because that's how you sign the FASFA, okay? I've seen it so many times where students and parents will just rush to get through it. They won't sign it, but when it reaches the school, it'll get rejected because there's no signature, right? So both parent and student have to create this FSA ID. Now, if you have multiple kids that are going to different schools,